Roughly speaking, 1/3 of the world's population is now ruled by governments that can be described as authoritarian populists.
In countries ruled by populists and autocrats, civil liberties, government critics, and non-governmental organizations are increasingly coming under pressure. Pro-government groups, on the other hand, are growing in strength.
Over the past 15 years or so, we have observed that states are increasingly restricting civil society's scope for action. We are witnessing this phenomenon not only in autocracies, but also increasingly in democracies.
Not only individual activists, but also international NGOs have become targets of those in power. What happens when they are silenced?
Civil society is the raw material of democracy, and if this raw material is lost, it will be very, very difficult to fill democratic processes with democratic content.
Activists are by no means only attacked or arrested. Laws ensure that they are criminalized and deprived of money.
Uwierzcie mi, są nas miliony i jesteśmy wkurzone.
Activists and civil rights campaigners are subject to intimidation. What happens when these voices fall silent? And what can be done to counter this development?
NGO laws are a very popular tool in restricting civil society action. For example, states can enact regulations or laws that make it difficult for organizations to receive funding from within the country or from abroad. States can often expand bureaucracies to the point where it is difficult for an organization to register or meet its reporting requirements.
Russia has proved itself adept at this method. Since 2012, all non-governmental organizations that are politically active and receive money from abroad have to register as so-called foreign agents. Otherwise, they face fines and closure. The human rights organization Memorial was also added to the foreign agent list in 2016 and thus must be supported by teams from abroad. For example, Anke Giesen in Berlin. Memorial works on coming to terms with Stalinist history and supports current political prisoners. The human rights organization has become a target of government-controlled groups.
Another phenomenon is that there is a fake civil society, so to speak. State agents start civil society organizations, which then pursue the state's aims. They don't do this as state representatives, however, but as civil society organizations. And in this way, the state can then outsource the social developments it wants and say, well, it's all coming from the outside, it's coming from civil society.
Some of the fake NGOs are set up directly by the Ministry of the Interior or the Secret Service. This group targeted a memorial exhibition in 2016.
A few years ago, we had the case of a so-called People's Liberation Movement that set up in front of the building with posters reading, "Memorial is an American spy." Then the whole thing looks like there are members of civil society who oppose Memorial's work. And many of these government-organized NGOs, or gongos, are also pretty violent. You might as well call it uncivilized society.
Attacks like this one on a Putin critic in Moscow are meant to intimidate civil rights activists. The government uses the staged conflicts in its propaganda against the NGOs. Those in power can then call this a conflict between civil society groups and maintain a semblance of democracy.
Since
the current government is highly suspicious of uncontrolled social developments, it basically tries to, well, gag civil society without directly abolishing it. Because that wouldn't look good on the international stage. As I mentioned, they want to keep up the appearance of a normal, modern country.
At the same time, Putin makes it clear that he's prepared to fight critical voices by every means possible.